In last night's Heat versus Wizards game, Miami won the rebounding battle. They won the turnover battle. One of the major things is continually that they cannot make threes consistently. It's always in the mid to upper 20s, it seems like most games, especially in losses. But the thing to look at is Miami's offense and defense down the stretch of the games. It's something we've looked at. Miami squeaked out a couple games where they have a lead, the team comes back, and we kind of push it to a side a little bit. Now it's come to the point where they've had two games in LA, one in Washington, where they kind of fall apart at the end. Two of those without Jimmy Butler, but now they had Jimmy Butler. They had a fully healthy team, and it's still happening. So I just want to go through some of the plays down the stretch of the game, just kind of seeing what went down in this span. So offensively, first, at one point in this game, before this point, Miami was up, I think, 94-84. Didn't Caldwell Pope and an and 1-3. They just kind of went back and forth. 96-90, Miami's up, 3.5 to go. Looking right here, it just seems like they have too many empty offensive possessions. They go through these points where, if we look at right here, Kyle Lowry comes off the handoff. He gets Kuzma on him, fades away on a baseline jumper, which the interesting thing right here is just take a look at the shot clock right now. 15 seconds on the shot clock. You're up 6. The team's coming back. It just doesn't seem like by far the best possible shot that you could take, and especially with that much on the shot clock, he misses it, and it's just these are the type of things. Maybe it's not late game, which we'll get into. There is some things late game, but it's the things leading up to late game that they're kind of rushing, going through some things, and it just leads to empty possessions. It leads to them coming back. Another one, Jimmy Butler after the game talked about how they get stagnant at the end of the games, or a couple of players talked about how they got stagnant at the end of the games. We look right here, Jimmy gets an isolation possession right here. Just look at the other guys on the floor. PJ Tucker, Bam, and Tyler Hero kind of planted their feet into the ground, and they're just watching. And I feel like that's what you can't have. You can't go into isolation mode. Even though their isolations have been up this season, you cannot go into this mode late in games like this. Kyle Lowry ends up coming off, shifting over. He actually almost buries this shot, but it's just not great offense to base yourself off of at this point in games. Now, we talked about defensively as well. Miami's up 96-90, and basically Washington hits 3 straight threes to go up. But right here, some of them are just, them making shots, but there is some other minor things. We look right here. Bam's going to switch with Hero. He's going to read it. But as we see right here, he's going to slip it. Miami's switching really heavily this game. It's one of those type of games that they're going to go into that. Bam just kind of stands there. PJ, they both feel like they're going to stay on to Beal. Easy 3 comes out of it. It's just these possessions where you have these mistakes, miscommunications defensively at the end of games that just can't happen. Another one of the major things defensively is that you have Tyler Hero on the floor with 4 all-defensive type players around him. They're going to attack Tyler Hero. They're going to try to force him onto people. That's what they did. And what that means is PJ Tucker, guys at the top of the key, are going to edge over little by little. PJ comes over for the help. He hits Dinwiddie, and easy 3 comes out of it. There's just simple things. It's them making shots, but it's also the things Miami's doing defensively leading to that. You kind of had to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but there's kind of other things you could probably do to maybe not get Hero onto Beal every single play. You could probably fight over screens more often, maybe blitz. It just seems like there's more to that right there. Another one, this is just one of those possessions where Miami seemed like they had gaps to kind of hit open guys, but it just doesn't happen. This is a great defensive possession right here from Washington as I go back again, but they're not, hitting on what's happening right here, right? Tyler drives, Bam kind of rolls as well. Kyle rises up. You kind of got to hit Kyle right there in the wing, wide open. He doesn't. It leads to him retreating. He hits Kyle now. Kyle gets into the lane. PJ, it seems like this is the type of stuff that they do out the game. Kyle kind of waits one more second, makes Kuzma kind of pick which defender he's going to go to. Then Kyle hits him. It's just, once again, it's just rushed. Now, as we go right here, Kyle hits him. Kyle swings it to PJ. PJ drives. Now it's back out to Hero. They do a great job of just recovering. Hero ends up getting a shot clock violation right here. It just seems like everything is rushed. Everything's not the offense they've been running the entire game. Now, the last play, we've seen a lot of inbound mess ups in LA, and now we see this one. It's not really a mess up, but it just was a mess after they inbounded it. Now, Jimmy's going to clear out with Bam on the other side. They're going to get it to Hero. Jimmy crosses back over. As you see right here, this is kind of an issue when you look at the lineup on the floor. These are the 5 guys you're going to expect to close many nights. But the thing is, when you're down 3 and you need a 3, Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry are the only options on the floor. The defense knows that. Everybody knows that. PJ Tucker had a great game. He's had a great season offensively, but he's not a threat down three to kind of come above the break and knock down a three to tie the game. Jimmy Butler has done it before, but you kind of live with Jimmy Butler taking the three. We know Bam Adebayo is not taking it. So it seems like you can kind of narrow it down defensively to who you're going to go at. Tyler comes off this screen that seems like this was what they were going for initially. They just blitz Tyler Hero. It's pretty obvious that's what they're going to do. They blitz him. He hits Bam right here. Now it's just kind of mess up. They get it to Jimmy. They just switch Jimmy. They don't have to blitz Jimmy because they know that Jimmy's not the main threat on the floor down three. Ball gets lost. Now he comes up and has to force up, a mess of a shot. So this is the type of stuff that kind of leans into it. This down three is not position you want to need. I wonder if they would have put Duncan Robinson on the floor if he was playing. Not that he had a great night because he didn't, but it just seems like they need, better spacing on the floor on the last possession on these inbound plays because this stuff isn't going to work. The defensive stuff, as I mentioned before, probably can work itself out just fighting over. They can tweak that little by little. But the offensive stuff is something to note that you have to still play your own offense, play your own game at the end of games, and not turn into, Jimmy Butler isolations and just a mess of an offense not hitting the certain gaps.